Yeah, it's because March is the longest, shortest month I'm experiencing. It's the weirdest thing.
This month has been a lot for me. I don't know what's been going on, but my nerve damage have been going putting me through it this month. So
I'm
hang in there.
sorry.
I'm
Hope you
used
feel
to it.
better.
I'm used to it. It's just the doctors are just, when it comes to black people, they just think we can have pain to the umpteenth and not have to worry about it. Yeah. But anywho, I want to talk about your new book.
Don't get me started on that.
I want to
This
talk.
this this one? This one here?
Yes, Niccoyan. What in the fuck? That was a goddamn black soap opera if I ever read one.
You know what? You're the second person to have said that. I was like, okay, I'll take that. I'll
That
take
that
that.
was that was a soap opera.
So you need to go gentle on me.
I have so many questions
Yes,
because you
there's a lot
introduced
going on. There is a lot going on. Hey, Tamara. Hey, Rihanna.
you introduced a lot of characters. You introduced Leah. You know what? Let's just get started because I have a lot of questions. All right.
I will do my best
So
to answer
I,
them.
I think you have a delay, but it's cool. I just wanted to let you know my questions probably come in as a delay.
Okay. So I took myself off of Wi-Fi, and hopefully that will help.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you. I'm hoping that'll help.
Yeah, it's still a delay. It's still a delay, but it's cool. It's fine. All right. So my first question is first introduce yourself. I'm so ready to get into this damn book. Introduce yourself, the genre you write in, and anything you want them to know. I am too excited about getting in this book.
Okay, so I'm Niccoyan Zheng, and I'm a Canadian writer, and I write contemporary romance, the majority of which so far have been IR books. Um, they take place in Canada. Most of my characters are more mature. They've got a little bit of dosh because that's how they come to me. Can't change that. And on Thursday, it'll mark my third anniversary as a published author, and can't change that. And on Thursday, it'll mark my third anniversary as a published author, and left is my 13th book. So I'm busy.
I swear, it just feels like you've been in this game for like longer than what you've been there.
No, I still a baby author.
So, all right, your romance suspense with a lot of family drama is layered. I mean, layered deep with family drama, intense emotions, high stakes revelations.
Yeah, they put me through it. I just want to start off right before you say anything. I just want to shout out that the characters put me through it before anybody comes for me.
Yo, what was the inspiration behind the story?
Um, okay, so this one, because normally I say the characters just pop into my head. You know that's normally a thing. They just introduce themselves, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit different. Hi, Tamara. Hi, CJ. So this one, I think the seed started a really long time ago on Law and Order, and I don't know if we're doing spoilers, but a similar scenario that had happened in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what planted the seed, like where somebody swore they did something. It's so, and then you see how
Okay.
hard it is.
Yeah.
It's been really hard to market this book because you see how much stuff I had to leave out in that whole in that
Oh
whole sentence.
wow.
So that's where the seed started, and then the first person to introduce themselves to me was not the hero of this book,
Mm-hmm.
but who some people feel may or may not have been the villain of this book, if that makes sense.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's the one that's like, "Hey, hi, I'm so and so," and I'm like, and then he told me what he did, and I'm like, "F you, so and so. F you know what? Don't come over here starting no mess with me. I'm not gonna do this." And as usual, I tell my writing partners, they're like, "Girl," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm gonna write down a little outline, and
Uh,
maybe he'll leave me alone." And then
so
the minute I wrote the outline, then I got Emmanuel, and I was like, "Oh,
I love Emmanuel.
hey,
Manny is like
baby."
my favorite. Um, Now you said you went through a lot writing this book. What was the creative process like for you from concept to execution?
Well, okay. So before I actually started put, because this book was first published in Vella. So
Mm.
before I ever put it out in Vella, like I would get like chunks of scenes because that's how my characters do me. Like I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, I'm writing other things, and they're just like, "Hey, you want to know something about us?" I'm like, "Oh no, not really, because I'm writing this," and they're like, "Yeah, blah 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 blah." Thanks. So I'm like, thank you for that. I appreciate it. But one of the things was the way this book was received was very different from the very
Mm.
beginning, because I didn't think people would necessarily like Emmanuel the way they did. Like I
Mm.
was just like, they're not gonna buy this.
I can see that. I can see that.
They're not gonna buy this crap.
I can
There's no
see
way they're gonna buy this. And then people surprised me. Like I've been surprised every step of the journey with this book, because where I thought, okay, this would happen, readers were like, no, absolutely not. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm just gonna tell the story. But some parts of it were super emotional for me
Mm. I can imagine.
because they were just going through it. Like I think of every book I've written, this book is the I feel the most for these characters.
Mm.
And that's saying something given what some of my other characters have been through.
You take us through heartbreak, rebuilding to rediscovery. Um, why was it important to show the evolution of love rather than just focusing on one particular moment in a relationship? What message do you hope readers can take away from from these transitions?
I think the main one, as somebody who is really loved in a marriage and works at it and really loves my partner and really likes my partner and enjoys being with them, I really hope that people could, because we don't, as authors, we don't often get to show you the HEA. We don't
Mm.
often get to have readers have time to revel in the HEA. Like, we work up to it, like we put the characters through paces, and
Mm.
then you know it's over. Like,
Yeah.
HEA, and then it's over. So I really was hoping to show what it looks like to have a marriage that's like solid, and they're
Mm.
happy and they're communicative and they're best friends, and it's really still hot, like, because Manny could not get enough of Ivy.
He could not. After 2 decades of marriage, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, and that's what I hope. Like, if there's any takeaway from this message, is that, like, after 2 years, I want you to be blowing out my back. Just say it.
That
Hey,
part.
Evelyn.
That part. Hey, Evelyn. That part. Now, okay. All right. How am I gonna say this? Ivy and Manny's marriage was really tested repeatedly
Yes.
throughout the
Yeah.
book, but trust seemed to be like their greatest battle, and deception. What made you center their struggles around trust and deception rather than the external conflicts? It was more so about them as a couple.
Yeah.
even though, and I just want to emphasize this, y'all. You couldn't tell she wrote it about them as a couple because it was so much suspense going on around.
Because I wanted to show like what happens when you're tested. You know, like, and I don't, I'm trying not to give spoilers, but it's really hard. Are we doing spoilers? I didn't even ask.
You can do spoilers, just don't do too many.
Oh, okay. So the story of Emmanuel and Ivy is that, like we said, they've been married for 26 years. They have had an amazing relationship. I mean, like, you know, it goes through the different parts of their relationship, because when they met, Ivy wasn't really feeling Emmanuel, and he wasn't really feeling her until he saw those rubber cowboy rainbow boots, and I'm convinced that was
That was it.
It was a wrap for him. So they have this amazing life. They have pretty much everything a couple could want. They have 3 amazing children. He is head over heels with her, and on the biggest night of her life, he gets served with a paternity suit. And this child is not an adult. This child is 20 months old. That would fall in the confines of their marriage. So is he for real? Is all of this love for real? Or is he pulling a fast one on her? She and him have to navigate this, and their marriage is rocked, because how could it not be?
Yeah.
Because blind faith is not like easy to have in this situation. I know some people were like, I would have trusted him, and I'm like,
no, that's no. I need more evidence.
I'm built different. I'm built different. I would want to. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would want to, because yeah, I love my partner and I trust them. But like her, like, she's a scientist. She's a doctor. She's like, she deals with with genetics. So yeah, she understands how this works. And he's telling her, "Hey, I didn't do it. Can you trust me?"
Absolutely not. Just saying.
Yeah, it's not easy. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the most disliked characters that I have gotten feedback from is not who you would imagine. It's Kimberlyn.
What?
The amount of, yeah, people cannot stand her. They talk trash about her. How could she, like, she's leading her, she needed to mind her own business and stay in her lane. And I was shooketh by this reaction. I'm not gonna lie.
You're upset about that, but you're not upset. Never mind.
Thank you.
Never mind. Oh God, we all got different priorities, I guess.
Yeah, because pretty much the men in this book are untouchable. Just let you know.
Child, look here. Manny faced one emotional gut punch, rear punch, ass punch after the next. The secrets, the betrayals, the personal revelations about his own upbringing and stuff like that. It completely shifts his understanding of his world, right? How did you approach writing his character to balance the suspense of those revelations with the emotional depth needed to make them impactful?
Well, I was hoping that that I let the reader really get to know him. So you get to know him at his strength, right? And then, so it's easy for him to let you in at his weakness. Because a lot of times, like, I'm not very I'm not very open to sorry, I lost my train of thought because I don't know how he keeps coming up in conversations. I saw his name, I'm like, how did he get in
She got
here?
a point. She got a point. She got a point. When you write, you write.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but I'm very hesitant to call my my heroes alphas because I don't think they fit into the norm that most people consider an alpha, because I
Mhm.
want to show you them at their strongest, but I also
Mhm.
want to show you them at their most vulnerable. And
Mhm.
Manny was really vulnerable in this.
Very.
Like he tried to like be like hold his stuff together, but he kept getting like hit after hit, and I'm like, at a certain point, I'm like, where does he go with this?
Mm.
And I was worried like how it would affect their relationship. I was like, you guys, I'm watching it like unfold in my head, and I'm like, okay, y'all stay strong now. It's hard, and it was one hit after another, and I think they both handled it beautifully. But yeah, but they were flawed, so you know, they both were angry and happy and loving and forgiving and like all of the emotions that you would feel going through this. I couldn't like have it just be like one note because they felt all of these things. So I hope like, the readers got to understand that they were feeling so much and going through so much.
Yeah,
But at the end of all of that, in the mix of all of that, they had each other.
that is true. That is true. Was there any particular challenges in making his journey feel authentic?
Um, I it was hard because I'm like, how do you like, the whole spoiler situation? Because it's hard when because I've got to experience it with readers on Vela. So like I know that people had different scenarios of what they thought was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to stay true to how to unfold it and not to rush it. Because there is almost there's almost a part of me that wanted to rush it and be like, ta-da, this is what happened.
Yeah.
But the characters were kept like pushing me off, and they're like, no, let's do this part and let's do this. And I'm like, no, but they need to know I'm going to lose the readers if I don't tell them sooner. But I had to trust the characters and the process and let it take its time and because listen, I probably would have ruined the whole thing if it was just up to my timing. I'd have been like, look, this is what happened, and let's wind it back and show you how that happened. That's probably how I would have done it. I probably would have messed it up.
The family drama in the book feels profoundly realistic. It's messy, it's raw, and at times painful.
Yeah.
Many authors shy away from, I guess, depicting family tensions with this level of complexity because they don't want to have to deal with a reader calling them out on, oh my God, I don't like this because it's too realistic for me. Why was it important for you to showcase the imperfections, the betrayals, and the unspoken struggles within a family dynamic?
Because you know what, like in romance, I don't think romances can always be in a vacuum. I've written some romances that are pretty much in a vacuum. It's just him and her, and really like a small, you know, nucleus, right? But that's not how generally real life is. Real life is it's you and me, and look all these mofos. Look all these people around us that influence us as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So when a couple is so much about their family, because that's the thing, they loved each other hard, but they love their family just as hard or harder. So I couldn't tell their story without telling the story of their family and what's happening around them. Like I had to tell how the kids reacted. Like Oliver almost caught hands from his dad. I promise you. I'm like, oh Lord, if he catches hand, how am I gonna write this? Please don't hit this child. So it was,
That is a lot.
but yeah, they're
You
gonna have those type of emotions.
you tell a story of a 20+ year marriage with all the
Mhm.
highs and the lows. Some hmm, some might say even with it being a romance suspense, this is still considered in somebody's eyes struggle. And this is a narrative that criticizes basically relationships having problems because everybody want an HEA that is flawless. But how do you personally view the portrayal, and what was your intention in showing an unfiltered version of relationships?
Well, I couldn't even imagine writing this book and like pretending like everything was perfect. Like even before like the the big paternity suit. Like that's not marriages go through ups and downs. Like some
Mhm.
days they're like your absolute. I saw this interview with Viola Davis one day, and I was like, yep, that's marriage. She's like, this person is your favorite person most of the time, and
Mhm.
every once in a while, on certain days, you look over and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
grant
More
me
often than
inner
none.
peace, Lord. Right? And that doesn't change the fact that you totally adore them. That's your best friend. That's your confidant. So I wanted to show that they had all of those elements together, and still they rode for each other super, super hard. Like
Mhm.
they had the passion, they had the physical passion, the emotional passion. They had that connection. Like he says in the book, I tell my wife everything.
Mhm.
Right? That's the kind of connection they have. And when you have that kind of connection and you tell each other everything, well, that's the good, that's the bad, that's the ugly too.
Yep.
And sometimes you ugly.
Yep. Yep. That is true. So you had also had the past and present timelines in the book. You were giving our readers more of an intimate look into Ivy and Manny's situation. Why did you choose the narrative structure instead of a straightforward like dialogue? How did the flashbacks or the so we can better understand what was going on overall enhance the overall emotional weight of the story?
Because I'm a strong believer of knowing who you are now. You need
Mm-hmm.
like flecks of your past in order to
Mm-hmm.
tell the story of who you are right now. And so to
Right.
tell the story of this couple, I needed to have those little flecks of their past. And I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
bombard you with like just front loading their story. Like, I could have like started writing the story when they first met and like put you through that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot. You want to get into the good stuff, right? Like that passion and that connection and that HEA. Because I realized I started the book with the HEA. You don't
Mm-hmm.
normally start a book like that. So I'm gonna give you all the HEA, and then I'm gonna tell you how we got there and
Mm-hmm.
how we're able to stay afloat through the
Yeah.
really rocky times. Because you're not going to understand why they made some of the decisions that they made, how Ivy was able to stay solid, how Emmanuel was able to stay solid if you don't
Mm.
understand their past.
That's true. That's that's very true. And I also want to say Manny's love for Ivy and his family was like unbreakable, y'all. It was just he when I say this man loved and he was not letting go for shit. I think he might have would have fucking unalived somebody fucking around.
I think that is a fair assessment of him, that
Yes.
he has no. Yes, because I think that trope, like, it just hit me like that trope of, touch her and
Yeah.
find yourself unalived.
Yeah.
That
I
is him in a
the way
nutshell.
you wrote him, that's what I was getting from him. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what was being thrown at their marriage, their family, him himself, the one thing you could not fuck with was Ivy and them goddamn kids. And I'm just saying. Now, often in romance novels, it's always the woman trying to fight for the relationship. It's the woman trying to keep the relationship together. What was it important for you to showcase a male character who is vulnerable, emotionally invested, and willing to fight for what he wanted as far as his marriage?
Part of it is, I don't know how to simply answer it other than to say, because we deserve it.
True.
Straight up. Straight up. We as we deserve that kind of love. And I mean, that's how the character came. But yeah, I'm gonna highlight it at every turn because yeah, we want to be loved and be put on that pedestal and be cherished and protected. And even at times when he felt she was hurting him, he's like, "Not my job is to protect her."
Mm, mm.
And that was really important for me to show that, like, no matter what was going on, he's gonna protect her no matter what.
I like that. And that's why he's one of my favorite characters. He's just I don't care.
Aw,
There was this level of deception in there too. That created a
child.
lot of that created a lot of tension and uncertainty throughout the book. How did you approach maintaining the suspense without making the twist feel predictable or dragging the storyline? And do you have a specific strategy for pacing when writing suspenseful moments?
I'd like to say that I do, that I'm like, I have this master plan in mind, and I'm like, okay, this is going to happen here. And
Mm-hmm.
because I've been planning things, I'm a planner. I have an A type personality. I don't know if you know this, but I have an A type personality, which makes writing extremely difficult for me, okay? Because these characters don't care nothing about my A type personality. So I'll be like, okay, this is my plan. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and they're like, okay, sure. And I'm like, I start typing and they're like, yeah, and go ahead and tell them that now. And I'm like, that's not what my outline says. They're like, I don't know what to tell you. F your
Out.
outline. F your outline. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. So I do what they say because I don't want them to go on me. So yeah, so I didn't time it like that. Like I said, I would have told y'all in the beginning. I'd have been like, hey, yo, guess what's happening?
Yeah.
I'd be like, keep your mouth shut. Shut it. Don't you say nothing about nothing.
So
Because
okay.
yeah, I
So
knew all of that from the beginning.
so Ivy is such a beautiful but yet complex character. She carries motherhood well, being in her career well, even her marriage well, even when it was going to shit. The weight of like the past was really strong in the storyline. However, you also allowed her to be vulnerable and imperfect after the beginning of showing the marriage was perfect. How did you navigate writing a female protagonist um, who embodies both resilience and fragility without falling into the stereotype of we some strong women?
I don't know how to say it other than she is like Ivy's Ivy, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's us in a nutshell. Ivy is like us in a nutshell. We do like, the different levels of our life, we handle it really well. But the
Mm-hmm.
key is to have a partner that allows us to be like, you know what? Yes, the majority of the time I got this, but you know what? Right now I don't have it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's important, I think, for us to know that we can have a partner where we can be like, I don't have this. I really don't have this right now. I'm gonna get it together eventually, but right now in this moment, I don't have
Mm-hmm.
it. And that, for me, that's also strength. I think a lot of time people are always calling those women weak, or calling those moments we have weak. And I really kind of, it gets under my skin because to me, the biggest strength is to know when you need help and be like, I need
Yeah.
help in this moment. And she
Yeah.
needed help. This girl was baking up a storm. She was, ugh. That man walked in the house, saw her baking, and went, Lord Jesus, I don't deserve this. Because he knew. He's like, this is too much. This woman baking. She is stressed.
Oh man.
He's
You
probably the only man on earth.
girl. You introduce side characters. Leo. How is it that you're gonna? Because I'm hoping he's the next story.
Oh yeah, he is. He is.
So how are you going to handle that? Because he's a very yeah. How you gonna handle that?
Well, I can tell you, I'm handling. Let me puff up my chest. I'm handling my business, okay? Because the book is almost done. I'm like on the last to second last chapter of Right. Okay, he took me through it because they don't care nothing about me. I know that you guys
Girl.
seem to love them, and I love them. But do they love me the way I love them? I don't necessarily believe that's the case
Is this
because
gonna be another
they go
suspense?
through so much.
Is this gonna be another suspense? It is okay. Tell me this. Tell me this much. Is Leo gonna be another suspense story? Because you put me through so much and left.
I don't think it is. I mean, there's somebody on my Patreon in there, and they could say yay or nay. I don't necessarily think so, but sometimes my perception is off
Mm,
because I'm in it, like really in the story, and I'm not done, so it's harder for me to answer that. But I would say no at first glance, but don't like hold me to it. Like don't like you
mhm.
can't come back and say I lied. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, can you give me this? What kind of
No
vision do you in what kind of what kind of journey do you envision for Leo? Not giving anything away, just what
redemption. It's a
okay.
redemption tour. It's a
Oh,
redemption. He's got stuff to. He's got stuff to. You know, he's got to do some. He's got to
oh,
fix some stuff. He's got to make some stuff right. See the
yes.
title. He got to make some stuff right.
Okay. I can get jiggy with that. I can get jiggy. Because you like I said, left was all the way left. Like goddamn. I was like, poor Manny, poor little Tink Tink, poor Ivy. Goddamn kids. Like what the fuck?
And the kids. So I'm going to ask you because I've had people like message me about this. Who's your favorite kid? Because let's not lie and say we don't have a favorite kid.
Hmm.
Let's see if we're
I
in simpatico. Let's see.
I don't though. I was more okay.
You don't?
I don't. I really don't because I was
You
so
like them
focused
all?
on the
Okay.
adult drama that was going on. You know, it, I don't. I honestly don't.
Okay.
Now
That's fair enough.
Manny, Leo, and Ivy, baby, not too much. Not too much. That's what I'm saying. Now,
Not too
Kimberly, whatever the fuck her name is, that
Kimberly.
she,
Yes, Kimberly.
everybody got a messy friend. Everybody got one of them in their life.
You think she was messy too? Talk to me. Talk to me.
I think she should have
You think
stayed
she
in
was
her
messy?
lane. Sometimes, as
Okay.
sometimes you like give advice to people that is also a reflection of your own shit, and so then you take it out on the next person, even though it's covered in advice. You know, so I don't think she's bad. I just think she's just one of those. Now, Nico, you fuck no, but yeah,
How did he get in here? He was barely even in this book, girl. He showed up one time with his
he
woman
will
and he just
forever
behaved
be the
himself.
bane of everybody's existence. You know that, right?
He just living his life, just
You
being a
know
good.
Nico ain't gonna walk away after his book. You know that, right?
You know what? That's not true because there's some people who love him. I keep telling y'all this. Y'all don't believe me. I'm telling you, there are people who absolutely love him.
And they need to be on that
I'm
lady
just
couch.
saying.
And they need to be on that lady couch. They need
Hi,
to be on that
Lisa.
lady couch.
Hi, Lisa. I mean, we all have our favorites, like, you know, people, characters that we love. There's characters Like, it's so funny because I was speaking with one of my author friends today, and she wrote a book that was very, like, it was an amazing book. And there is a character in that book that I still have a guttural reaction to his name. Like, even outside of that book, if I hear that name, my stomach clenches. Y'all
But that
think you
means
have
that
feelings over
y'all did
Nico.
it
This
right.
character is for me.
That means y'all did it
Pardon me?
right. That y'all did it right. If
Yeah.
you can
So
get that type of visceral emotion from your readers, that you can't stand a character so much. Anytime someone brings it up, it's just like, I know you fucking lying. Like, that's how I feel. Now I understood Nico's book, but at the same time, fuck him. Same thing. You know what I'm saying?
fair enough. But that's why I think I take it like I just you see me smile and I take it in step because there are characters out there of other authors that I'm just like, if you brought this character to life, I can promise you I wouldn't go on the black web and make sure the situation was taken care of. So
No.
I totally get how y'all feel about Nico. I'm just saying that there are some people who love him because it's more of a character. They pit two characters against each other. So it's either they love Azul or they hate Azul, or they love Nico or they hate Azul. And I don't know why they connect the two of them so much. Maybe because they were my first two books, but they pit them against each other. They tend to be Team Azul or Team Nico. It's a weird situation.
Now I
But
look.
I appreciate that you guys like that I wrote books that the characters stay with me.
Now wait a minute, because Azul, yes, what he did in the beginning was foul. Yes, I mean, I would feel some type of way if every time you fucked me, you threw up. But he had a lot going on. Okay, both of them did. So I can't knock him. Now Nico, I knock everything. I knock this shit over. I everything because that motherfucker was just an asshole.
See, and you know what? Even as an author, like somebody like even as the author of the book, and somebody who just like read it, like reading it, not from being the author, but like reading the books.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to me. I had a bigger problem with Azul than Nico. That's just
Really?
my personal take on the character. Yeah, listen. I put paper maple. It took almost a year and a half to 2 years before I could say Azul's name without clinching. Like just be like Azul. I had a bigger problem with him than I had with Nico. Maybe it was because Nico was with me longer. Because Nico was with me longer. The elite guys, you have to understand, they have been with me for almost a decade. In my head, just like blah, 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 blah. So maybe that's why. And I understood his motivations, and y'all keep forgetting this man's memory got wiped out, wiped out. Azul's memory was
It don't
intact. I
matter. It
understand
don't
he was
even
grieving.
matter. It don't even matter. This man could
Yeah,
have freaking got
but
ran
you know what though?
over.
But you want to know something?
Hmm.
He has been dethroned. It's okay. I feel like we can like he is no longer my most hated character. I promise you, because Left has created the character. It's not the main character, but Left has finally you. I think you agree with me. Has dethroned Nico. Listen,
I did.
listen.
Okay.
The amount of
Wait.
all
I'm
I'm gonna
with
say is
CJ.
L.
I'm gonna just say CJ is right. I'm still gonna hate Nico in my motherfucking Cardi B voice forever. But 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 that particular character that you are talking about, if there was Lego blocks on some lava and I would want him to walk on it barefoot. Yeah.
Well, we're not. As you know, there's a second book. We're not done with him yet. I got beef with him. I'm gonna be straight up. You've never heard me say like I got beef with a character. I, as an author, have beef with this character. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. Also, I'm gonna add to that. I'm a very petty individual. People may not be. I'm a Libra. Look, I live on the corner of Pet and E, and yeah, he got under my skin. So this is one of those times as an author, like I'm gonna push my agenda. my agenda. That's all about that.
So when are we
Accomplish my
gonna get
agenda.
the second book? When is the second book gonna come out?
Um, you're gonna get this book this summer. Like I
Okay.
said, I'm all done, and then I start edits. I'm gonna show you this because it's a shameless plugging, also just to give you an idea. So this is this glove, and you see how thick she is. Because I did it because Amanda liked them. And right is bigger than this right now, girl.
Girl,
To lose
how many
that, I don't know
pages?
if you felt that there was something right now.
Mm-hmm. What'd you
Careful.
say? You said 560? Child.
Listen, I told you he had to fix things. He, girl, you know he did some mess. He has a lot to fix.
I'm gonna read it though. I don't care. I'm gonna read it. Now,
I appreciate you reading it.
before we get out of here, I want to ask you a question. I tend to go on y'all Amazon page, see if y'all have some upcoming releases because y'all like to be real slick about shit. Y'all put the shit it's coming soon on Amazon, but don't ever put it on your page, and we don't know shit. So I have to, be nosy sometimes. And I noticed there is a rugby romance.
It's way out.
But that's what? What? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So this rugby book is a lighter book. Just let you know, it's a lighter book. It's more rom-commy, nice
Okay.
and chill. I'm not gonna put you through the pace. Well, not not intentionally put you through the paces.
Mm-hmm.
So Milo is a rugby coach. There's a young man who he's a college rugby coach, and there's a young man who he doesn't feel is ready to be on the pitch. His mama does not agree.
Oh.
She wants to see her son play. She is in that man's face a good bit of time. He a little tired of her. She working his nerves. He knows what he's doing. He used to play rugby and now he's a coach and he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, when he sees the date, he's like, I should leave her suffer. I should leave this woman to suffer in this horrible date. But he's a good guy with his fine self. Listen, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm just gonna like bear it all out there. Because the minute he told me he's a rugby player, I'm like, you still have your five. I didn't ask nothing about no story. That's what. Because normally I ask my characters questions to get to know them. I asked the important question: is your thigh still thying, sir?
Yeah, rugby
He said
players.
yes, and then I'm like, okay,
That's
tell me all the rest of the stuff about you. Child, have you ever been on TikTok rugby TikTok?
yes, yes. I used to play rugby.
That's cute, girl. You know what? Somebody actually asked me to play rugby when I was in high school. My mama wouldn't let me. She's like, no, it's too rough. And I'm like, that's okay.
It
I'm
definitely
rough.
is.
But she wouldn't let me. Because I was
I
a
play.
PK and she didn't want me to have my thighs as out.
I play rugby and I play football.
Oh, see? Okay. I've been trying to keep this lady quiet in my head who plays football. And what you're not going to do is call her forth. I see you, Storm. I see
What?
what you're trying to
What
do.
the
You don't
hell?
have other things to write.
Child. Yeah, go ahead
You
and write that
understand what
football
it's
book.
like to constantly have little. No, not. I will because I don't want her. I don't want to say no to her, and she get really loud and take over all my planning and all my schedule. But yes, eventually I will. It's because here's the thing. Like, what do you call it? Everywhere it's like inspiration. So it's like sometimes I get overstimulated because they're like, oh, I see something, and they're like, there's a character like, oh, I could tell that story, and I'm like, but y'all see, I got stuff to write. So right now, like, I'm finishing off Right, and I'm starting Maxim's story. So
finally, I'm about to get my baby.
yeah, your baby has been problematic. Actually, he's not problematic. It's just honestly what it is I want to be authentic to his story. I want to tell it well. I've spoken to people, I've spoken to professionals, so hopefully I get his story right. Like, because that's really important to me. I do my research. I do a lot of research for different topics. Like, even like for Left, I did the research, like the science research. I didn't put it all in there, but I studied to make sure that I had an idea of what I was talking about before I put it in the book. So Maxim has situations going on where I had to study to make sure that I give you the best. But yeah, same thing with rugby. I've got to do the hard work of watching rugby players. It's so stressful.
I'll watch them with you.
Watching rugby games.
Especially the all black team.
Because yeah, but it's gonna be a sweet story. Like, they butt heads a lot, but then they stop butting heads and they start butting other things. So that is that book, but it doesn't come out until December. But Maxim is the one I'm really looking forward to starting. I'm starting him off next week. I'm actually starting my character inspiration, like how I see them look in my head, because I give that to my Patreon, like how they look. I've been searching to get the perfect looking Maxim. I've been asking AI to help me because I have not found a model that hits him.
Yeah.
Or his love interest. So
okay,
that'll be fun.
So now tell us where we can find Left, your books. Start with your website. And how people can get in contact with you for interviews and anything else.
Yes. So my website is niccoyanwrites.com, and I try to make it really easy so you can find me anywhere. So pretty much if you look Niccoyan Writes, you can find me on social media. So here, the other people, Mark and them, apps, I'm Niccoyan. That's what I call his apps. And people be looking at me like, what is she talking about? I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm Niccoyan Writes there. I'm available to talk about the books and interviews and all that good stuff. And my email is Niccoyan Zheng at theg.com. And yeah, so where you can find Left. So Left is wide. So that means you can find it pretty much everywhere. So you can find it on the Zon, and you can find it on Apple, and you can find it on Barnes and Nobles and Smashwords and Google Play and all the peoples. It's on Taleo in Italy. It's everywhere. So you can grab a copy everywhere.
Now I know,
and it's in paper.
I'm gonna have to buy me.
And I kept the price really low. Like, guys, I'm not making almost nothing
Girl,
off of this.
Let me tell you something. As y'all are indie authors, your price point shouldn't be. If you can't afford, just say you broke. All right, then your priorities are wrong. Shit, they make little to no money in some of these books. So shut the fuck up when y'all be talking about something expensive.
Excuse me, ma'am. Just louder for the folk in the back that didn't hear you.
I'm just saying. I get tired of people saying, "Oh, that book
because that's because they don't realize how much cost we put up front before it ever gets to you." Like, I gotta get it edited. Like, I gotta make sure that it's well edited. Like, this cover is not me; it's an editor, right? So all of these costs go up front and stuff. I'm really lucky. There's some things that I can do myself, but other authors, like, they're not able to do that, like the formatting and things like that. But if there's out there that needs some formatting, I can help you with that. Because listen, I know it's tough out there, right? And graphics and stuff, but there's a lot into going into being an indie author. So
yeah,
we try to make it affordable for you guys, but it be It'd be hard. It'd be hard out
It
there. So,
do.
but I put
I
it
know.
wide so that people can get it on different platforms.
I know. You're not traveling, in which I do not blame you. I'm pro Canada. So
Thank you. Elbows up.
so I what are the book events you're doing in Canada? In case any of us are traveling to Canada or will be in the area around you.
So my first event that's coming up is called Pages and Pleasure. And
Mm-hmm.
wait, before I start, I just wanted to say, like, you don't understand how upset I am that I'm not able to come to the events that I wanted to come to. Like,
Yeah.
I told you guys I wanted to come to event because y'all just welcomed me and I had the best time in Chicago. And if you guys can go to a boozy book tour, do it. Do it. Listen, your man don't need to spend time with you that weekend. I had so much fun. So I just wanted to say that, like, I had a blast at your event. And that was the first one. I've heard you've gotten even better since, like, I went to the inaugural. They've even gotten better from there. So
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to put that out there. And I really wanted to come back, but I had to, like, I was trying to convince myself I could do it, and I kept saying it, and I talked to my family, and we're like, they didn't feel safe. I didn't feel
Yeah.
safe, and I'm like, and then I saw this author drop out because she didn't feel safe, and then I immediately said to myself when I saw her press release, "Where is your black ass going? If she don't feel safe." So I was like, you know what? So sorry, I digress. Um, so yes, my first event is Pages and Pleasure in Kitchener, Ontario. I actually, if anybody's in that area, I have 5 free VIP tickets. The VIP tickets include like tons of free books. I know
Mm,
this because I contributed a free book to the
mm.
swag bag. Okay, so that's April the 5th. My second event is in, now this one's really easy to go to if you're in the States. It's called Romancing the Falls. It's like right on the border. So it's just on the Canadian side of the border. That is May, let me, 30th. 30th. Yes, May 30th.
Okay.
And then I have one in the city that I live in, which is Brampton. Shout out Brampton. It's a Brampton Book Fair. It's June the 7th. And then my final event is in Toronto, and it's called Ignited by Books. And
Uh,
that is September.
A. Lewis
The
said, "Do you do the Toronto Urban Expo?"
No, I that one's really tough to get into. I have not gotten into it yet, but I'm persistent. So I will continue to try. I'll be like, knock knock, who's there? Guess who? It's Niccoyan. But yeah, that's another amazing event. But yeah, they're becoming more and more Canadian events,
Mhm.
and especially in light of what's happening, a lot of Canadian organ people are stepping forward to want to organize because, unfortunately, you know,
Yeah,
y'all get your listen, y'all get your stuff together. I'm just gonna say that.
and not, that Cheeto need to get his stuff together, and his garage
No, y'all
dope.
need to get him out of there. Listen, we have an election coming up. We trying to prevent Timo Trump from getting in too. So we all have our struggles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we got
So,
a Timo one up here,
oh wow, I'm sorry.
girl. Yeah, but we're doing the best that we can. We're all doing what we can. But in the meantime, thankfully there are books to help us escape a little bit of the craziness.
And
You
definitely the
know,
craziness.
yeah. And
Definitely.
we're gonna slip some of realism in there because you see what Manny did to that man who pulled over his son.
Uh,
So FAFO.
Fuck around and find out, y'all. Fuck around and find out.
So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So we're finna do a little housekeeping before we get out of here because we're gonna go to Tylee's house at 8:30. It's gonna be all of us who receive arcs from Jatoria C. We are reading them live reaction, Lord Jesus, of a dark romance. My God. I
Wow.
feel like I be putting myself in these situations. Um So we're going to do a live reading reaction. Don't judge me. Don't ask me no questions. If I make a face, if I say something, you ain't going to hear it. I'm going to have it on mute. Shut the fuck up. All right. I'm trying to get into dark romance, but Jesus. So Boozy Book Tour has tours on 2025. We have Raleigh coming up with amazing authors from Mel Dow to Natasha Rayner is going to be there. We have Arlington, which is a full fucking house. I don't know if it's Solar Black going to be that one or that Solar. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's a lot of authors that are going to be at Arlington, Virginia, not Arlington, Texas, Arlington, Virginia. Then from there, we are going to Orlando, Florida, which is in collaboration with author M. Monique. And you got your L Case and you got M. Monique. You have a whole lot of authors that are going to be at that one. Then we're circling back to Chicago. And we're going to have fun. And in Chicago, we are going to have a meet and greet, in which we will do for every city. But the reason why it's special for this meet and greet is because y'all get to learn how to do the Chicago step. So you learn from actual steppers in Chicago, and that is going to be the meet and greet where you learn how to step like a Chicagoan. And then it's going to be the book signing. And then the next day, that Sunday, will be a brunch at a nice restaurant that's going to serve us drinks until we're sloppy drunk while we eat. So we got that. And then coming 2026 will be the second Melanin Ball, and that will be in Viva Las Vegas in collaboration with Bray A.A. Lewis. And one of our highlighted authors will be Jaquel J, her goddamn self. And don't worry, there will be more to come. It's going to be a time. It's going to be pajama jam up. You got to come in pajamas, y'all. Clean pajamas. No lingerie. I don't need you wearing pasties, okay? I don't want to see your wrinkly ass, nor do I want to see your nips. Got me? Feel me? All right. We are going to have a blast. That is a 3-day event in Las Vegas. And as it was announced, Boozy Book Tour will not be doing regular book signings anymore. We'll be doing theme events. So in those theme events, it will be 3 a year. So starting in with the Melanin Ball in February, and then we will be going to the Dungeon Room, where you will actually be a part of a BDSM dungeon at a BDSM club in Denver, Colorado, and be interactive with a dom. And it's an interracial, multicultural event. We will have some other categories, genres there, but that's the gist of it. Is interracial, multicultural, and it's a BDSM night, dungeon night. Everything is going to be at the Church nightclub in Denver, Colorado. If you don't know, I advise you to look it up. You understand why it's called that. And lastly, we will be doing
a good place to worship.
They worshiping something. That's all I'm saying. Last event will be the Mad Hatter and Alice in Wonderland Tea Party in Seattle, Washington. Yes, you're right. It's Alice in Wonderland. Mad Hatter. It's a book signing, but it's also a tea party. We're hoping to be partnering with Kenya Wright, so this should be a very interesting event. And for the girls' trip for that year, there might be 2. One by Booked and Busy Nicole, who is the podcast host for Pop Your Ish, where she is doing a wine country in California tour to just be with the girls and drink wine. It ain't about books. It's just about wine. And then